Crafters. In tonight's video, we're going to be making a beautiful Christmas card, and we're going to be using the Rustic Crates photopolymer stamp set and dies. For the background paper, we're going to be using the double twisted ribbon technique with gold foil and the Seasons of Elegance Specialty Designer Series paper. I got this idea from Terri Gaines. Thank you, Terri. Hi, I'm Joan and I created this video for Joan Simple Paper Crafts found right here on YouTube. If you're new here, I want to thank you for stopping by. And if you're a returning guest, welcome back. Be sure to subscribe by clicking the subscribe button below. That way you won't miss when I post a video, which is typically once a week. Now give me a few seconds to turn the camera down and we'll get started. But before we do that, let's talk about our promotions. We only have two things going on right now. We just loaded the online specials and we still have our glass mats. And I'm going to be using the glass mat tonight, and you'll see how it helps aid in lining up your card. Okay, let's get started now. Here's that card we're going to be making tonight. The supplies you're going to need are the Rustic Crate. You're going to need this stamp and the matching dies from the Rustic Crate dies. So I'll get that out right now. And then we're going to need the Season's Greetings and May Your Days Be Merry. And then we're going to need this die from the Autumn Leaves dies. And the type of paper we're going to need is the basic white, and I like to use the thick for the cardstock. And then our gold foil, the Season of Elegance. This is a 12 by 12 inch sheet. We want Mossy Meadow and the Cherry Cobbler from that collection. So let's go ahead and get started. We'll do our stamping first. So let's put that up here. And we're going to stamp our image first. And I'm going to get this inked up here. I'm using Memento Tuxedo Black. And I'm going to put it on this edge here. There. And then I'm going to stamp Season's Greetings using our Smoky Slate. And I'm going to put this away because we are done with this already. And I'm just going to center it here. And hopefully you can see without my head being in the way. There. And then we want to do the inside of the card. Let's put this up here, let that dry for a few seconds here. And for the inside of the card, we have this piece of basic white cut at 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches, or 10.2 centimeters by 13.3 centimeters. And I'm just going to line this up on here. Kind of keeps me centered. And I better turn it over this way. And I'm going to go a little bit above center here. And I kind of went to the right, but that's no problem with that. I think we're done with this, so I'm going to close that up. Then we're going to bring in our stamp and scrub to clean our stamps off. And I'm going to bring in a little piece of paper to stamp on to make sure we don't have all that ink inside our Stampin' Scrubber. Allows me to not have to clean it quite so often. Okay. And we're going to spray this because I haven't used it yet today. And we'll use our Stampin' Mist. Just going to put these over here for right now. Okay, so next we'll need is our markers to finish this. So I'm going to go ahead and bring in our Cherry Cobbler and our Mossy Meadow and our Daffodil Delight. Okay, and I'm going to do the leaves first, and I'm going to mark them with the dark Mossy Meadow, just using the same lines that are outlined here. So right here, right here, right here, and those lines. I'm not going to do the outer line. That was probably a leaf there, and probably a flower petal, not a leaf. I'm going to take a second here to try and negate. Let me do this one. Negate this one here because that's supposed to be Cherry Cobbler. So I'm just pushing it down, and that should put it to the back of the card stock, so that'll work. Oh, I did the same thing here. What's going on? Well, this marker works. So what you're doing is you're marking it on the same thing, pushing straight down, so that ink is getting pushed back down. And when you go out of the lines, you push it inward to move the ink back in. So that's fine because I'm going to use the Cherry Cobbler, and that'll cover that up. So let's find our leaf right here. Yeah, that's it for the dark, and then we're going to bring in our light. Now, I typically would use the brush tip, but it is all used up here. It's like a wide tip now, so I am going to just use the nub point, and I'm going to order this. It's time to reorder this marker. So I'm just going to go on the outer line here. Same thing here. And then we'll go across the dark Mossy Meadow. So I'm blending that in. Okay. And I'm going to do this one more time on the green. We don't want those there. And we're going to start up here at the top with the dark Cherry Cobbler. And we'll start up here. I'm just going to use that nub end to outline. And this nub end is dried out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the brush end and go over those lines. And on these, I am going over some of the outer edges of the petal. And then I am just going to go over this with the light Cherry Cobbler. And I'm thinking the brush end is going to work here. I'm not getting very close to the edge because I don't want to go out of the lines. Come back in with the nub where it's easier to direct paint and the ink. And I'll do the nub next. And I want to keep the center clear so that I can use the Daffodil Delight in the center. And I'm just taking a good look at it, see if I want to do anything else there. I'm going to do the next one. So we're going to do the dark. I did the brush end, didn't I? See, this brush end is kind of bent up too, so I'm going to have to order one of these as well. I'm going to order it during our sale that's coming up here on the 13th through the 15th of November. Unfortunately, by the time this posts, it'll be past the 15th. So hopefully you saw my email post. And if you're not on my email, you'll just want to give me a shot and I will add you to my email list. And you'll get those notifications when those sales come up. I try to mention them when I'm doing my videos, but I was on vacation last week, so I didn't have a video. Actually, these past 2 weeks, I didn't have a video that went out because I was not prepared for my trip. So I had to take my time and work on that, and then went on the trip as well. Right now, we're doing a lot of Christmas preparation at work. I work at the senior center, and I'm an adult daycare provider. We're having them do crafts to sell at our craft fair. That's coming up in December. And I'm having a hard time talking while I'm coloring. I usually don't talk when I'm coloring. And I'm just going over those middle darker strokes, kind of blend those. Some of them are already blended, but I missed a few of them. And I did pretty good on that. I don't think I've got anything I need to finish using my marker, my color lifter. And I'm thinking that when I messed up and used the green where the petals were supposed to be, that worked really well using the color lifter, didn't it? Then we're going to use our Daffodil Delight. I've got the dark Daffodil Delight, and I can use the nub on this one. And I'm just going to color those in. I'm not going to try and lighten them at all. I'm going to leave them dark. And so next we want to cut those out. And I'm going to line this up onto here. Actually, it's going to go this way, isn't it? And I'm going to get our tray out for that. We'll use our mini cut and emboss machine today. And I'm going to use tray number 1. This is my tray number 2. And this is my second tray number 2. Can't see it anymore because they've been used. So the numbers are gone on those, but okay, let's do this. I'm thinking I'm going backwards here. So I'm going to line this up so I can see where the die is going to work. A little white around each of those. So I like that arrangement. So I'm going to put some tape down. The tape I'm using is this label cover-up tape. It sticks securely and removes cleanly, and we can use it over and over. This I've used before. I'm going to tape this bottom sheet down first. I knew we had to do something there. And then we'll do this bottom sheet here as well. So I'm taping it off the edge here. We don't want to have it going where the die will be interfering with it. So now I can drop this in here, and I'm going to feel around till I feel it's in there solid. And there it is. I'm going to put this back down here. Don't want the base to shift on us. And we run this through. And just take the tape pieces off. And there we have it. It's cut out perfect. And then we're going to do the same thing with the season's greeting. I'm going to try and get this off from here. All right. So I'm going to put the season's greeting in there. This one's pretty easy to do, but as long as we have that shape already cut out, we might as well use it. And I'm just making sure it's in there. Come on, feel it drop in. Okay, and we're going to put the second plate number 2 on there and cut that out. We got that ready, and we can put this away because we are done with this. Put our plates back on there, and I am going to hang on to this. That'll work great for any future ones I want to do. And so next we want to take this piece. Again, this was that 4" by 5 1/4 inch, or 10.2 centimeters by 13.3 centimeters. And we're going to put that on a piece of cherry cobbler that was cut at 4 1/8 inches by 5 3/8 inches, or 10.5 centimeters by 13.7 centimeters. And we're going to glue that down, and let me get my silicone mat here. There we go. We're going to put our glue on here, and we're going to use our multi-purpose glue, and I have it in this little bottle here. It makes it easier for me to use this and squeeze it out in a fine line a lot easier. And I'm going to just take this out of the way. And we're going to leave 1/8 of an inch for a border, well, 1/16 of an inch for a border on all 4 sides. So that's going to be about 0.1 centimeters. I'm going to turn it sideways. I do much better at doing it sideways here. There. And I'm going to use my bone folder on the back side. I want to make sure I get that paper contacting paper, get all those glue bubbles out. Then we're going to take our piece of cardstock, and this is 5 1/2 inches by 8 1/2 inches, or 14 centimeters by 21.6 centimeters. And we need to score it at 4 1/4 inches, or 10.8 centimeters. And I need to bring in our trimmer here. I thought I had things scored, but I guess I don't. The score was 4 1/4 inches. And this actually has 3 blades on it. It comes with 2 blades. This is the scoring blade, the light tan, and then the darker tan is the trimming blade. And I add 1 more trimming blade, which has been used, so it's a little bit dull, but I use it when I'm cutting glitter or foil paper. So I use that when I cut my paper for this project. So all we need is a scoring blade now. So I'm moving those all out of the way. And we're just going to go up and down a couple times to get that there. We'll come back because we've got another piece we have to score. And I'm going to fold this right on the score line and burnish it. I'll just bring in our bone folder to do the burnishing. And I like to burnish it on both sides. And then we're going to put this on the inside. So we'll bring our silicone mat back here. Usually start in the middle. Sometimes it comes out in a big glob, and then last thing you want is to have the glue sneak out when you're put the bone folder on there to flatten all that glue. That's why I do it in the middle. And now we're going to leave 1/16 of an inch for a border on all 4 sides, and that'll be 0.1 centimeters. This one happened to work a lot easier than the other one. Then we need to work on front of the card. So let's bring in our card base. Hello crafters, I'm sorry for interrupting, but I was looking forward in the video, and I saw that my head was popping in quite a bit and you couldn't see how I was doing the twisted ribbon technique. So I'm going to retape that portion of it, but then the rest of the card is going to be the original card. So you'll still see my head pop in now and then, but it shouldn't block anything that's important. All right, let's get going. Okay, let's get started. See if we can't do any better this time around. I did zoom in a little bit better, so hopefully I won't get my head stuck underneath there. So what we need to use is a piece of 2" by 5.5" of basic white cardstock, or that's going to be 5.1 centimeters by 14 centimeters. And it's scored at every 1 inch starting from the top. And 1 inch is equal to 2.4 centimeters. We've got it scored here, 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 and here, and there's only 1/2 inch down here. We're going to go ahead and get started with that. This is all left over. Basically, you're going to need 1 and about 1/2 pieces of gold foil cut at 1/2 inch by 12 inch. And that would be 1.3 centimeters by 30.5 centimeters. And the same measurements for these. But you really only need 1 sheet of the Mossy Meadow and 1 sheet of the Cherry Cobbler. And that is taken from the Season of Elegance Specialty Designer Series paper. So let's start with our gold foil. And we're going to bring it from the top corner. So we want to cross here. Let me get this. I didn't have that ready. So I want to use this point and then that first 1 inch line right here at this point. That's where I want the paper to cross. So it's going to be glued down like that. And I'm going to lay each one down just to double check before I put any glue on there and lay it down permanently. You're definitely going to want to have something under this because I put more glue on than what's needed. So I have a rubber mat here. Even though I'm working on that glass surface, I don't want to have it bleed over. Oh, and it shifted on me, so I'm just going to bring it back there. And then we bring it up and we're going to trim that off. I'm going to just shift it a little bit, still off a little bit on this side. And I think I'm going to have to do it all over again. And then I have my scissors here. This is what I use for cutting adhesives. I've got a black twist tie on there, or actually a red twist tie on there, but it's different from the snips that we have. It's a non-Stampin' Up product, but it works a lot easier than using the snips and then finding out that I've got glue on them. I'm just going to get the glue off the top of that. So you want to work with clean hands when you're doing this. And then we're going to take our next piece, and this might be too short. I'm not sure if this next one's going to work. Nope, it's not. We're going to put that aside. You may be able to use it at the top or the bottom. I think this one will be plenty big enough. Okay, so I'm going to bring it up here so I can see where those are. There and there. And I really didn't need to do that because the piece was so small, but I did want to make sure that I had enough there that we didn't run out. And now I will bring it up again so we can see placement of this. So there's my fold there, and here's that second 1 inch line. It ends right there. And then I'm just going to press that down. And we'll start with this long one. And we obviously have enough room for that. And we're going to make sure we get this lined up. There's that point there. It's the second 1 inch line on the left. And here, this is at the third 1 inch line on the right. And I'm going to trim these off now. Should have trimmed that off before, but I didn't. Forgot about that. And I'm going to wipe this off because we're getting glue residue on our ribbon. We don't want that. And so we're down to the 3rd on the left and the 4th on the right. And then we do one more full length. So we do the 1, 2, 3, 4, 4th on the left and the 5th on the right. And then we're going to trim this off. And as you see, I'm doing it from this side. I want to make sure that didn't shift on me. No, it didn't. I'm going to do it this way and then this way as well. Then we've got a little bit left here. Let's see if we can't use this up. So we've got to do this up here. And we want to have it match that point there and kind of make sure that it's visually lined up there. So that's big enough to make sure that we've got it all on there. My head's starting to drift in there. Sorry about that. And we're going to just do that. That looks lined up appropriately. And we can trim it from the back side. And there's some glue there, so I'm glad I'm using these scissors. And there's some glue here. Let me get that off from there. And now I'm going to trim these up. We still have one more we have to do on the bottom yet. And I know it's on the bottom because I can see that it's a 1/2 inch score line there. So that 1/2 inch belongs on the bottom. Okay. And we can bring this down and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to line it up there and just eyeball where the 1/2 inch is going to be. Right. So that should be parallel with all of those. And I'm pretty sure this is not going to work for us. It's just big enough. I think we can try it. I'll give it a shot. So we're meeting that 1/2 inch point, and we're making sure the rest of that is parallel with up there. Okay. And then we need to trim this off. And we got a little bit on this edge here we got to take off. I should have moved it over a little bit more so we've been able to see it a little bit better, but we got it. Okay, next we want to do our Specialty Designer Series paper. And we're going to use the red first. And we're going to do it this point here to that first 1 inch line there. And I'm going to do it here, and I'm going to use all these with the gold like that. I want to do it there and that first point up there. And then we can trim this off. And I'm just going to put this on hold for right now because there's not any big gold pieces in there. And since that's what I'm kind of looking for, we'll use that later if we need it. There's some here, so I'm thinking I can probably get everything we need from this piece. So if we have it come up here, you don't have to have it gold throughout the whole thing. So I think we can do this. So we want red to cross there and at this point here. Okay. I think I'm just going to trim these off real quick here, as long as we've got the trimmers out. And this one we'll do here and here. Sorry about my head getting in the way. This is that first line, the second line, here's the third line, and that's where I had that intersection there, and those there. And we'll trim that one. Basically talking to you so that I can let it set up a little bit before I pick it up. We've got this next piece. Okay, we want this intersection down here. So that's on line 1, 2, 3, 4. This would be on 3. And then the other thing you can kind of eyeball is these points are lining up. This intersecting here, making a nice diamond. And we got one more to do. Here and here. Got all these little tags sticking on me now. Picked up the gold there somehow. So we're going to line it up here and here. And then this left a little bit down here. We just trim that off. And I was a little bit crooked here, so I'm going to see if I can't snip that off a little bit better here. That looks a little bit better. Got one more piece to do down here on the bottom. We need to have it lined up here. Just like that. And it's just going to fit. We can probably even try it this way, and that probably will give us a little more room. Yes, we'll do it on that way. And you know what? I didn't change out the green. Well, that's okay. So if you wanted to have it to be a double ribbon, you would have put green in here, every other one. And then green would have been on the very end. And since I didn't do that, we will leave it just like this, and we won't have a double ribbon. We'll have just a single ribbon on this one. And then we're going to cut this off. We'll cut it from this side because we've got sticking out from both edges. We still need to do the top portion. And I think we're going to do it here and there. Okay. And right here. Okay. And next we want to do is put our background paper. I have Mossy Meadow first, and then the Cherry Cobbler in the background. So we're going to put the glue on the smaller piece. I am just going to wipe this off. Make sure we don't have any wet stuff on there. Some of that glue is rubbing off already. Okay. And we're going to put glue on here. try not to getting it on my fingers because I don't want to have it touch the gold foil. And I'm leaving 1/8 of an inch for a border. And I'm having it meet up at the top and the bottom. So there's only 1/8 of an inch for a border on the right and the left sides. And I can see that this is crooked here, so I am going to trim that up there. And see if I can't adjust it a little bit there at the bottom. And that still looks a little bit crooked there at the top. So I'm going to see if I can't trim this down. And that was all just that, the extra ribbon that we put on there. Now we should match up okay with the cherry cobbler. Again, put the glue on the smaller piece. Start in the middle. There we go. We're going to have 1/8 of an inch for a border on the left and the right side, and the two ends should meet up exactly. That looks pretty good. And I'm going to use my bone folder on this, on the glass. And now this we'll take and put on our card base. And we're going to glue this on the smaller piece again. And I'm just going to get this out of the way here. I want to line it up, leaving some white on the left side, but most of the white on the right. And I'm lining up the top and the bottom. I'm going to open it up and use my bone folder on the inside of the card. Then we can take these pieces and we're going to use our dimensionals to attach those. And we've got small dimensionals here, or they're called mini dimensionals. And I'm using my take your pick tool to deal with those. And I'm going to put the season's greeting on first. I'm going to put it on the corners here. And I'm going to do down the middle too, and one in the very middle. Just take your pick tool, helps me a lot. Just got my nails done, so they're shorter than what they would have been, so I can't grab that paper. But it does pick up the paper and hangs on to it so that you can throw it in the trash, and then you don't have it all over your living room or wherever. Oh, sorry, I forgot. We don't need this here. Too ambitious. I'm going to use glue on that end. Get that off my thing. Because I have so many layers, I don't need a dimensional because it will line up by just putting glue on this edge. There we go. Same thing with this. We are going to only put dimensionals on this portion of it. So on the leaves, we put them on the top part of the poinsettia, the middle part of the poinsettia, and the bottom part of the poinsettia. Let's see. I must have lost the backing there. I'll do one more at the top here. Now these dimensionals are 2 for a penny, so it doesn't bother me putting so many on there. I know that'll keep its shape as it goes through the rollers at the post office. And then we're just going to line it up right about there. And I got to put my glue on here yet. There. That's perfect. And then just capping off my glue gun. I just wanted to let you know they loaded the online exclusive store, so you might want to go online and check out. There's a lot of good things there. I hope you liked this project as much as I did. As you can see, this design would work with just about any stamp sentiment. I hope you'll give it a try. Now, if you've enjoyed today's video, would you do me two favors? Click the thumbs up emoji, which means you like it. And would you share it on social media with your crafting friends and pin it to Pinterest? These actions will help me to keep sharing my ideas with other crafters for free, and I'd really appreciate that. Be sure to hit the subscribe button below so you won't miss any future videos. If you have any questions, be sure to contact me. I'm here to help in any way that I can. And if you don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I'd love to be your demonstrator. Just reach out to me. If you'd like to place a Stampin' Up! Order or like a catalog, hop over to my website where you'll find the Shop Now button. To shop with me, you'll need to go to joanheberlein.stampinup.net. Mark your calendars. I'll be back next week on Sunday, November 24th at 7 p.m. Central Time, and we'll be doing another item from the mini catalog. I hope you'll be here to join me. Thanks so much for being here with me tonight. I look forward to next time. Bye for now, and don't forget to subscribe.